Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now then, I couldn't really sleep, so I decided that I'm going to be posting this video. So yeah, I was tired, I couldn't sleep, started doing push-ups, got to about 200, was bored, made some Kool-Aid, and decided to record. And here we are. Now then, let's continue. When we last left off, Deku, he had just shook Toga's hand. And these two have introduced each other. Now, another thing. Someone did ask about Deku's armor, and I did not show it. This is the tendril. Blade, that is the armor. Alright, so yeah. Now, these two have begun by talking. Deku and her are just asking each other questions, and he just asked her about that ability. She would just say that it's nothing really, it's something special she picked up. Really. Do you mind explaining it a bit better? Well, from me being an Aldridgen when I was younger, I kind of interacted with the pack. My mom one day got caught by the pack and I was infected. I don't know if it was something I ate or something I drank, but it may probably have been my quirk. What's your quirk? Well, apparently it's got something to do with blood, but I may have taken on the traits and aspects of the hunters. So, after a while of me hanging out and helping to raise some of the cubs in our den, we had a bit of an incident where I had to absorb and fight with other hunters. Eventually, it got to the point where I was strong enough to actually challenge our own leader. Whenever I absorbed our alpha, I kind of just was able to do this. Really. So the claws and everything else. Oh yeah, no, the claws are something I have. Huh. That's interesting. Well, my story's a bit different. Go on. I'm really interested to hear this. Evolved really don't get to talk very much. Yeah, we're too busy trying to kill each other. Well, it's not hard to see why. Now, Deku would just explain everything that's happened to him up to this point, along with him meeting All Might and nearly getting killed by Behemoth. Along with him meeting Elizabeth Grain, which nearly makes Toga spit out her drink, as she's in shock. She would just ask exactly where is she? Was it that lady you were with? Yeah. Why? If she's Elizabeth Green, then I need to meet her. What do you mean? Well, it's just... If I meet her and take her down, my my virus might mutate again. Yeah, you kept saying that. What do you mean by mutate? How do you not know? You mutated on that rooftop. Did I? Yeah, you... Whenever you went to go tackle that guy, and you guys threw each other off the roof, you mutated. Your virus got stronger. You were watching me that time? I was kind of watching the whole thing. I can kind of hide myself. It's another pack ability. Wait, so... You let me find you, didn't you? No, you just got a bit more lucky than the rest. The rest? Yeah, I've had 4 people come after me so far. You're the only one who's actually been able to talk to me for more than 2 minutes without dying. Huh. Must have caught you on an off day. Not really. To be honest, I am still more interested in you, though. Exactly what can you do? They would continue talking until Deku gets a message on his phone. He gets a message that his mother is coming home today, and that the house better be clean. Now, Deku, he would begin to walk home, as he does take Toga with him. Toga, she is interested to see Deku's mother and talk with her, as she would walk home with him. They would finally arrive as Deku. He would just introduce his Toga to his mom, and his mother vice versa. Now then, while Deku's mom is home, she would immediately walk into the next room, as there is a knock at Deku's door. Deku, he would open it as he's a bit more confused. As soon as he does so, it's Elizabeth. She would immediately bring up her hand as Deku just immediately closes the door behind him, telling her that she can't be here right now. Yeah, I know, kid. Your mom's home. Yeah, no, it's not just that, let me guess. You met someone. What? Are you still following me again? Not really. Just, I can smell that. You smell like a hunter. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I met that person and figured out who they were. Anyways, what's up? Well, first off, I didn't want to interrupt you while your mother was home, but we have to go somewhere later. In fact, you might be able to bring her with us. Oh, okay. Hang on a minute. As Deku would open the door, walking straight into the living room. He would just wave Toga over as his mother would just ask what's going on. He would just say nothing, he it's nothing, he's gonna walk her home. She would just say that that's good and not to let her go alone, as he would close the door behind him. They would begin by walking out the hallway and actually talking more. They would go up to the roof as this is whenever Elizabeth, she would finally get a question Toga asked. Exactly how long has she been alive? Oh. Well, I've been alive for huh. I believe it's 220 years now? As Deku would immediately just be in shock. Uh, y- Elizabeth, how exactly are you? How exactly do I still look like I'm in my 20s? Good genetics, sweetheart. Ah, please stop calling me that. As Toga would somewhat burst out laughing. Now, this is whenever Elizabeth, she would just say that if she's going to be coming with them, then she just needs to modify herself. Um, you mean change my clothing? Yeah, you do wear the organic one, right? Organic? No, I kinda just travel around with my clothes. So you're telling me you just damage your clothes and replace them? Well, not really. I just kinda buy new ones. Okay, first off, as Elizabeth would show her exactly what to do. Toga would listen and follow as she changed her clothing. Now, as that happens, this is whenever Elizabeth would just look into her head as she sees she shows her exactly what to do. Pulling away, she would just tell Toga that that's fine and she can keep that a secret. Huh? Keep what a secret? Don't worry about it. Now, you can at least explain whenever you're ready. Okay, thank you. But did you really have to look into my head for that? Trust me, she does. Now, these three would all change. As they would do so, they would immediately get ready. They would actually just start by doing some light surveillance and walking around. Deku and Toga posing as a couple, sitting down and having drinks at a cafe. They are nearby a military installation, as they do see two officers walk by them. One of them is talking about where they want to eat for lunch and actually go, while the other one is talking about what's going to happen. He's just saying that they got some files, and as the other one wanted me to cut him off, saying that he can't talk about this stuff in public. He knows that. He can get court-martialed or even reprimanded. Now, as that's happening, this is whenever Toga and Deku, they would follow them, as they actually do camouflage themselves. Now, as soon as that happens, These two would immediately begin. As Deku, he would just ask Toga if she's ever consumed a Blackwatch soldier. 20 actually. Anyways, what's your point? Good, so you know about tactics, right? Yup. In fact, I'm pretty sure I got a linguistics officer in there somewhere. Really? I got a couple sergeants. Even a commander. Really? Yeah, I even got one that wasn't involved. Oh, lucky you. What'd you get? The blade. Now, the guys would immediately turn around as Toga and Deku actually do make their way through them, basically acting like a couple saying excuse me, as they would walk past. Now, as soon as that happens, they would immediately begin talking more. Now, they eventually do find these men at an alley, as Toga and Deku do walk in, following them. The men would just immediately turn around, saying that they know that they're infected, so it's time to drop the ruse. Oh, come on. You gotta ruin all the fun? Yes, now, show us your real faces. Oh. Alright. As Deku would immediately change into an army personnel and just take off the organic helmet and mask. The man would be confused as he would just say Sergeant. How could he do that to such a kid? Nothing personal, man. Besides, he at least did show potential. Potential? As Toga would change into another personnel officer, or another commanding officer, immediately taking off her equipment as they would begin talking. The man would just immediately sigh as he does one simple thing. He immediately just starts by overloading himself, immediately just absorbing his friend and going into critical mass, as he immediately brings his leg up, smashing into the ground. As soon as that happens, Deku would just watch as the man would immediately start by sprouting tentacles from his body, Deku immediately just turning on his armor and getting in front of Toga, as he would have done that, immediately watching as the entire alleyway basically just sends them with a shockwave careening straight out, as Deku actually does smash into the wall. He immediately asks Toga if she can armor up, and she would say no, as she does hide her face by recreating a mask. Now people are looking at them as they do see the people with blades, and Deku in his armor. As the sergeant would come walking out of the alley, he would just immediately be holding his hands outwards as Deku does see Deku does see him. He immediately begins by just whistling as loud as possible, and a swarm of birds show up. As soon as he does that, he immediately does create hammers for fist as he begins by running in, immediately just slamming into the ground, trying to swing at Deku. Deku, he would have immediately just brought his shield upwards as the man does smash into it. Elizabeth Green is watching this. Now, as soon as that happens, the man would immediately just begin by trying to smash through and actually beat through Deku's shield, as he just keeps swinging the hammer fist down onto the shield. Deku, he's actually having his organic weapon break as the armor does shield him. The man does smash downwards into Deku's skull as he does crack it for a second. Deku immediately slamming onto the ground as the man would go to bring his leg up to stomp into him to consume him. Before that happens, Toga would immediately reach out, lashing into his side with a blade, as she immediately tells him that that's not going to work. And I should be taking orders from who? As Deku would immediately get back up, saying from him. As he would immediately just bring his hand to the man's throat, creating his claws, saying that he's outnumbered here. As Deku would immediately stab his hand into his gut, tearing him to shreds from the inside out, as he's consuming him. As he immediately looks through the man's memories. Now, in doing so, the heroes begin to arrive. As Deku, he immediately takes off running, Toga following him. Now, with that being said, Deku, they immediately begin to do this as they would get 3 city blocks ahead of the heroes. As they have one simple thing happen. they would end up in an alley and, well, have to figure out a good way to get out of the situation, as they would have turned back to normal and Deku and Toga would begin to make out, albeit reluctantly. As the heroes would eventually corner them and find them, these two just breaking away from each other and putting their hands up. One of the heroes would just comment that kids these days are weird, while the other one would just say that that kid, he needs to get something to wipe away all that lipstick. As Deku would just immediately just bring his hand over his face, saying that they're sorry. It's just, what's going on? Well, kid, first off, we had some bioterrorist come through here. Bioterrorist? Yeah, do you know where they are? No, you've been sucking face with each other, okay, I get it. Wait, as the man would immediately walk over, bringing out his scanner, immediately scanning Deku's wristband, saying that he can't believe it. This kid might as well be a veteran. What do you mean? He's got a red zone wristband. Are you joking? No. So tell me, kid, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen there? Oh, I saw, I saw Hydra once, but that's not even the craziest part. Really now. So, you mind pulling away from her and telling us the story real quick? Alright, well, first off, if it's crazier than mine, I'll start buying beers for everyone. Of course, not the kid. If he says that it's crazier than a Hydra, you're buying beers for the entire week, Gomez. Now, I don't know why I keep saying Gomez. It's just a funny name for the military. It's also very common. Now, as soon as Deku would explain that he once had a behemoth try and chase him into a building, smashing the 5th floor of the one he was on, him sliding downwards and actually just running up into the 3rd floor. He then had to jump off of a building and land onto a car. But that's his first craziest. The second craziest was whenever he actually did have to kill a hunter, which they wouldn't believe. Deku just taking off his jacket, revealing his scars. As they would just leave Deku alone, giving him a pat on the back and a little advice. Now, as soon as that happens, Deku and Toga, they would breathe a sigh of relief, as she would immediately say that that was a bit too close. You're telling me. But at least we avoided them, right? Yeah. So, you mind telling me where you got that crazy idea from? Oh, sorry, I kinda got that from the back of my head. So exactly which person is that? Hmm? Oh, that was all me. As Elizabeth would finally walk into the alleyway, saying that if they're done with that whole teenage hormone crap, then they gotta get back to work. Now, after that, Deku, he would begin by walking home. As Elizabeth would just say that after the intel they got, this should be fine. But just be careful. If he really thinks he can trust that Toga girl, then it'll be fine. Now, with that being said, Deku would go home and find his mother, as he does ask her a question. Exactly where is Mr. Alex? As she would just somewhat stop what she's doing. She would immediately walk over to Deku and hand him a small note, as she would say that this arrived in the mail last week, but she didn't have the heart to open it. Now, Deku, he doesn't know exactly what to do. He feels his blood run cold at those words. Now, as soon as he opens it and begins to read it, it just reads that they're sorry, but at this time, at this day, this man, Alex, has passed away. He has helped save over 200 to 300 lives, and he actually did give his own, saving someone from a hunter. and a behemoth. If it wasn't for his bravery, they would have lost their lives. So, they are sorry for their loss. Their deepest condolences. As it would list down the sergeant's name. Deku, he does search his memories, as he is looking for this name, finding nothing. This just making him a bit mad as his eyes are tearing up. Inko would watch Deku immediately storm out of the building as she somewhat just is sad for him. The man has been dead for a long time, but he at least helped give that man's name some meaning to Deku. She put that man on a pedestal for him, so Deku, he's now having that pedestal weigh him down. No. This is whenever Elizabeth would immediately make contact with him as she is trying to talk to him, asking him exactly what's wrong. Now then, Deku would just say that he had a friend. He was there whenever my father wasn't. But that's not the worst part. The person who was there for him, they're dead now. The last time he saw them, he was annoyed at them. He was annoyed at them for leaving, for just trying to make the world a better place for him to live in. The last thought I ever had to him and the last thing I ever said to him was that he shouldn't leave. But he's angry at himself. If he never said that, that person may still be alive. But he would have been stopping them from doing what they wanted to do, what they thought was right. But that's not just it. As he would hold up the note, saying that this guy's name. The man was a sergeant. No sergeant would write this letter, would they? How do you know that? Because one of the men I've consumed, they've had to write one of these. They didn't say that they were a sergeant. They just listed down their name. That is fishy. As she would immediately just take the paper from him, reading it out loud. Deku just getting visibly angry. No, she would just say that he's actually telling the truth. I can see one of these men too. So, what's your call? You're letting me lead this one? First off, where the fuck do we find this man? Well, let me do some digging. I'll get back to you on that. As Deku would just walk back inside, as Elizabeth is going away. He watches her jump from rooftop to rooftop until he can't see her anymore, as he walks back inside to talk to his mother. His mother just asking him exactly what happened. He would just say that he had to process some things, but he was going to be okay. As he would go to sleep. Waking up the next day and getting ready for school. Now then, that is where I'm going to be leaving this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video. And for those of you wondering exactly why Elizabeth and Inko are able to be in the same place now, I realize that with quirks and everything being a thing, along with the fact that there is an ability we have yet to see in the games. Might be in Prototype 3, but I want to say you could probably use enough biomass to, well, not duplicate yourself, but make a copy of yourself at the time. Not making it into a hive mind, but basically if somewhat like Twice's quirk, where they'd have to measure you and that clone would look like themselves for the next couple years, needing to be remeasured and then reduplicated. So that is what I was thinking. So it would allow Inko and Elizabeth Green to be in the same place at the same time. Also allow Deku to have suspicion thrown off of these two. So he'd be none the wiser. I was also thinking about bringing Alex back in, but Deku needs a little encouragement. So, that is going to be where I leave this off here. And that was the explanation. So I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.